Welcome to the Leadership Spark podcast, where we equip you to be the great leader your people deserve. This is Corey, and we're going to continue the conversation about how do you prepare to be the great leader that you want to be and your team deserves in the next year. And so we've talked about the need to spend time thinking about who you want to become as a leader, your identity. We've talked about skills and being intentional to identify and develop skills. We've talked about mindsets and some shifts that as leaders we most likely need to consider making in our mindset in the next year. And so we've talked about all of those. Today I want to dig a little bit deeper and talk about AI. And so AI is something that you cannot ignore, and it probably touches your world in some capacity. I know that what I use AI for today is very different than what I used it for at the beginning of this year. And so it's something that we must understand. We have to understand and not avoid, because if we avoid it, we will fall behind. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. How do you start to think about AI, and how do you start to allow that to shape how you think about being a leader? And here's the reality is that AI will not replace leaders. AI will not replace leaders, but leaders who use AI will replace those who can't. That's what I believe, is that AI will not replace leaders or leadership inside your organization or whatever it is that you're a part of. But the leader who can learn how to leverage AI will have a step up and advantage over those who don't. And so here's why this matters, is that AI literacy is now an essential skill as a leader. Being literate about AI, understanding AI is not a non-negotiable, or it's not a negotiable, it's a non-negotiable now. It's an essential skill, and teams are going to follow a leader's confidence more than expertise. And so your team is taking cues from you when it comes to AI and how AI is impacting them, or can impact them, or will impact your company. And so I want to encourage you to think about that. And so AI changes our ability as leaders to make faster decisions. It allows us at times to communicate better. It allows us at times to automate repetitive tasks that allow people to have capacity to go do what they're the best in the world at doing. And so there's all these positives that can come with a smart implementation of AI. But there's certain things that AI will not replace. It will never replace empathy, judgment, conflict resolution, trust building. The things that are essential as a leader still need to be skills you develop as a leader. And so finding this balance and this mix of how do I use AI to accelerate or accentuate or help us go further faster as a team or as a leader are questions that you should be considering. And so I want to encourage you to do some things. I want to encourage you to learn the basic terms. Learn the basic terms about AI. I want to encourage you to test 2 to 3 tools. There are 2 to 3 AI tools that I use that help me go further faster. And so what are those tools for you? And go test some and see if they fit inside your job. There may be something very specific to your role or your team's roles that will unlock a lot of capacity and value if you evaluate tools. And then over time, you can learn how to integrate a tool into your workflow. And I have done that over the last year, and it really has added a lot of value. It really helps me go, like I've said, further, faster, and accelerate a lot of the things that may have taken a lot more time in the past. And so I want to encourage you to start now with understanding AI. It is something that, again, it's not going away. It will only advance and become a bigger skill needed as we go through the next year. And so now's the time to start, so that you are confident and you're ahead of the curve as you head into the next year when it comes to being savvy with AI.